Musterxmedia presents Hunted, a continuation of 30 Years Since.
Hello and welcome to the end of series featurette of Hunted, a continuation of 30 Years Since. Now, I hope that you enjoyed the total change of tone and pace of this one, because at the end of the day, it's 5 years on from the last episode of the main story. So all the kids were born, they've started to rebuild after the destruction of the moon. Well, you say destruction of the moon, the creation of the three smaller moons and the fall of the Anunnaki Empire. There's some funny moments within the mini-series which I deliberately put in there because there was always a sense of humour within series 1 through 4, because arguably this is actually series 5 but it's a different story, so hence why it's called Hunted, a continuation of. All done deliberately, mind you, but it's good though, has a nice little different feel to it. So it's not the same, it's not trying to replicate or copy, it's just trying to evolve later on down the road. One of the funny moments within the series was how Henry programmed the emergency beam out procedure, and I thought really hard about this when I came up with the idea. You don't want to beam everyone out to the spaceship minus yourself and the unidentified intruders, so you'll need a passphrase, and the reason why you do the passphrase is you don't want it to accidentally happen and initiate the sequence whilst you got your family over or in general day-to-day living. You don't want that to happen, so it's got to be something that's the most preposterous and ridiculous thing that will never come up in a conversation. So you've got the talk about the rum, which you could kind of fall into place, but it's the specific phrases that he says. Don't worry about that. I'll get the 75-year-old rum. So this was still fermenting in a barrel when I was still a child. Oh, that's a large glass. Well, be my last glass of rum for I don't know how long, you know. Has to be done, you know. It really has to be done. Right, okay then. And then you got the final part of the sequence. I never masturbate on a Sunday morning. So children, I always want you to say this to yourself whenever you're in need of dire help, okay? Never masturbate on a Sunday morning whilst expecting for the dog to lick your balls whilst you're high. And it beams everyone out to the bounty, and all the intruders bar the person closest to Henry beams them away. As Henry said later on in the episode, he didn't anticipate the amount of people to turn up, so they could only beam a certain distance away rather than the full 3 kilometres to give him more time to do what he needed to do. Also, the shield generator, get that all set up and whatnot, so he needed time. And the gag about materialising one poor bastard in the walls of the building. I kind of came across that little concept in a deleted bit of concept from the original Terminator movie, because James Cameron, he originally came up with the idea of someone going along with Kyle Reese, and when they materialised, his friend materialised partially in a wire fence, so the fence became part of him. And I thought, you know, that's a great concept. He should have had the balls to carry it on. So I thought, you know what, because that was never used, it's never been used in theatre, film or TV, that someone's materialised within something and still in agonising pain, why not use it as the gag? It's too good to waste, really, it really is. Now the only problem is, no one ever, well, the story doesn't go back to the farm, so you don't know what happens to this poor guy that materialised in the wall of the toilet. Does Henry take a piss on him on a daily basis? Do they have conversations whilst they're having a shit? Do the kids pee all over him? Or force feed him a load of feces and toilet paper? Or general naughtiness that kids tend to do in the toilets? You know, like soaking toilet paper and then lobbing it as a paper bomb. You know, lobbing it at the poor guy. You never know. Maybe it'll come up in the future in a latter series. You know, there may be just a skeleton that comes out of the wall, or he may just have daily conversations. You never know. You never know. The plot twist that I had for the last episode, it kind of came out that way because I did intend it to go in another way, and that was another possible mini-series later on after the Bounty series, which I'll get into in a bit. But no, I like when that twist came out as I was playing around recording it. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go with this ending. So I actually like that ending. The Emperor of Nothing. It was all a lie. It was all ego, because at the end of the day, in this day and age of 2021 and 2022, which we've just started, there is a lot of fakery and bullshitting and people believing their own Instagram lies. Yeah, that's the kind of message that this episode has. The new Emperor of the Nephilim, the self-proclaimed Emperor of the Nephilim, shall I say, he believed his own bullshit and had all his followers believe his own bullshit, and they believed that bullshit so much they all got killed for it. It happens. It's happened in cults, it's happened in the past, and even today. People do pile-ons online because they're believing other people's bullshit or trying to call out someone else's bullshit. And that's the critique of today that I added into the end of Hunted. A load of nobodies followed an even bigger nobody who wanted to make a name for himself, and he ended up being the Emperor of absolutely nothing. It's great. It's a great concept, that. Now, just before I head off, I'm really looking forward to the next series that comes out next, after this episode. It's not quite a prequel, but it's a combination of a prequel and something new, I suppose. So it's that little gap between series 1 and 2 of 30 Years Since, where Chi-Chi and Anna decide they're going to help free the old man and Henry. Because this story is worth telling. It really is. And I never got around to doing this part of the story in the main switch over between the two series, because it would have slowed down the progress of the main series. And it was near enough an entire series in its own right. So I thought, you know what, I'll hold that bit off and go back to it if I get a chance to. And this is the perfect opportunity to go back to tell this part of the story. It's a good handful of episodes out of it. Now, for all the returning listeners, I want to thank you, because it does mean a lot to me that you keep coming back week in, week out, and as soon as that new episode appears, by the end of that 24-hour period, the same group of people download or listen without fail. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate it that you keep coming back. I really do. And to all those who are new to the 30 Years Since podcast, thank you for sticking around here and there and coming back, taking a break and then coming back and listening to some more of it. I appreciate it. I really do. So why not give us a like, subscribe and a share as well. Till next time, guys. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to Hunted, a continuation of 30 Years Since. Please come back next week for the first episode of The Bounty, which is a prequel series, how Chi-Chi and Anna obtained the bounty and how they rescued Henry and the old man. If you've enjoyed our content from musterxmedia, we also have a few more story-based podcasts. They are Gumshoe and A Tribute to Men That Hate Their Jobs. The links for these are in the description below. In addition, we also have the Total Entertainment podcast from musterxmedia, which is basically reports on live entertainment and with interviews from up and coming artists. Until next time guys, bye for now.